Howdy, y'all. Good morning. Yes, here we are in this industrious, beautiful city. And I wanted to touch on the subject of spirituality. This is funny because you turn yourself into a cameraman at the same time as you're an audio engineer. But nevertheless, let's get on with the subject. So, some would think that spirituality is a fluffy term, and in general it is because a lot of people use it to refer to something that maybe they can describe, maybe they can't. And let's just break it apart. Like, if it's spirituality, it means that you accept that there is such a thing as a spirit, right? Or a soul. So, the question is, like, what would that have to do with spirituality? Like getting in touch with your soul, I guess, right? Maybe, or so something to do with the soul. So, like, if we're talking about spirituality, it can't be too fluffy because it means that we're believing in the soul. And you can also tell, like, if somebody knows what that means by what they're saying. So they're saying, like, he's a real spiritual person, man. He talks about how people feel and such. Like in that sense, for example, that's not exactly spiritual because how does the spirit have to do with your senses? You know what I mean? So, like, if you're a spirit, you're feeling the senses, but it's not that you are the senses. So if you're very sensitive to people's feelings, that doesn't mean you're spiritual. It might mean that you're sensitive. It might mean that you're conscientious and you're a thoughtful person. But let's get closer to what would be spiritual. He's very spiritual, like he's always meditating. He's always talking about spiritual topics. Okay, maybe that's spiritual. We're getting closer now. So what's a spiritual topic? And what's up with meditation that's like so associated with spirituality? So, like, well, yeah, let's go to meditation first. Like, meditation, why is this a spiritual thing? Why do people think that meditation is a spiritual thing? Generally, it's been associated with a reassociation, a refamiliarization with yourself. And, like, if we're going to take the soul to be the real self inside, like the battery inside of the body, then meditation is kind of like a practice, a general practice to reassociate and refamiliarize somebody with their true self. And so then spiritual topics and talking about spiritual topics would obviously be about anything having to do with the spirit and this whole difference in how you have like a body, but you're a spirit. You are something inside of something. Wow. Beautiful cardinal right there. We are something inside of something. This is a body speaking at the behest of something inside, right there in the heart. So those would be spiritual topics, talking about the difference between what is spirit and what is matter. And that's like, what is black and what is white. So we're talking about two huge subjects that envelop almost anything. You can pick up, say, oh, is this spiritual or is it material? A big subject. So spiritual topics and meditation are, as you see, the closer we get to refining this, the bigger we can see that we're dealing with these subjects. They're really, really big. Spiritual topics, meditation, spirituality in general. These are huge topics. But they have to do with everything around me, everything behind me back there. These things are not necessarily good or bad. They're simply material. It's simply material to be used either in a sacrifice to yourself or in a sacrifice to something greater. And so those will be somehow linked to these subjects of spirituality, spiritual topics, and meditation. But I don't attempt to do that right now. So I leave you with this. Beautiful, beautiful skyline.